Taurus, welcome for your twin flame update. Those of you who are new, welcome. Some from my old channel. Well, it's not really an old channel. It's a previous channel that I'm still working on. Maybe here, a very warm welcome. Okay, now I've pulled the cards ahead of time, and what I am going to be doing on this channel, as it's a new channel, I will be doing monthly and mid-monthly. Now, those of you who are new, I very much do live sessions at a psychic level, whatever I am feeling intuitively in a sense of a download, and I will bring it to you live. I will try and upload a video, but when I get these downloads, I do tend to do them Perth WA time, 10 AM or 10 PM. So I try to do it morning or evening, so you can generally catch me then. Sometimes I do afternoons as well. So if you do have a preference, do comment in the box, and obviously I will cater around your needs. Now, as for bookings, the link is the same on this channel as it is for my other one at YILDIZ Readings, and the link will be directly below for bookings. Now, let's have a look at what's going on with you guys. Now, moving into January, I'm feeling you've got some family-related dynamics going on, and you really do need to balance your base chakra, which is pretty common, Christmas, New Year's, etc. Now, a lot of the energy, with Mars, again, I'll do the astrology very separate. The energy coming through for you is an imbalance within the family, okay? Now, eating the red food groups is going to help you balance that chakra out. At the same time, it can be, especially with other cards coming through in your read, there is also a karmic energy coming through, which is a portion of what you're needing to pass in this part of your spiritual journey, in your twin flame journey. Now, I have pulled cards for your counterpart and what is going on in a chakra level for them and a karmic energy for them as well, and how they're directly looking at you at this point in time. Many were going to get direct connection as of December. There is another group that are really going to be getting that direct connection. Some were delaying around the Christmas time frame, and that was very much at a psychic, energetic level I was tuning into, and I was seeing that around February, there may be a movement with that, but it can be anywhere between December all the way through to March. It is quite a karmic cycle we're moving through. Now, a lot of loose ends, especially at an egoic state, are very much being purged, and it's very interesting because your first card off the bat is the aspect of the ego. So any direct challenges that you're feeling you're having at the moment, it might be you tuning into your counterpart and it's transmuting through you. But it can also be 3D related situations happening with your family dynamic that is a part of a spiritual path for you, to purge that factor, and this part of your own journey for you to complete certain aspects at any given point in time. It can also be that perhaps they're not in agreement with maybe your choices, and especially when internally for you personally you don't feel comfortable with making that because of your again, egoic state, the energy where you're feeling personally that would there be judgment, would there be crucifixion if you walk down a certain path. Now, this can be your own children, it could be exes, but again, you've got the family chakra card, which is base chakra. So your foundation alone very separately and your belief system in your life might be impacting what you're dealing with at a 3D level at the moment. Also, you feeling that you perhaps don't have any power in the situation. A lot of times, when twin kind of retreats away from us, we do tend to feel we have no power in the situation. And a lot of that is being purged where we're understanding uniquely within our own flaws and our belief systems, we are perfectly imperfect. And when you're coming to that energetic frequency, it really does balance your chakras, and it balances your alchemy energy for you to understand that you have a lot more power than you think, but it needs to be coming not from a state of conditioning, so to speak. So really what is going on with you at the moment is you're really going through a purge in that cycle. It can be you're thinking at a 3D level, if you've got heavy family burdens, that's what's blocking you from the path. To a degree, yes. To a degree, no. Again, an egoic state is feeling you are imperfect within that paradigm. So having this sense of acceptance in that can really balance it out. it is quite a volatile time moving into January. On the 6th, we do have a partial lunar eclipse, and on the 20th, we have a total lunar eclipse. And it very much is blood moon energy. You know, moving forward, you can feel that you do have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, and you're trying to move through that. It can be that you're looking at what has gone on between you and your twin, and you may be taking on more responsibility, or you might be looking at them as they've left you out in the cold and you're needing to take more responsibility on due to that factor. And again, energetically, the more aligned we become, the more we directly mirror each other in the path. Now, intuitively, you may also be tuning into what is going on with your twin and having this sixth sense that something is transitioning and changing. And there is an energy where you're trying to really take balance within your own frequency and see directly what's going on with you and where to proceed from here. A lot of us naturally do meditate upon where to go in our life at the beginning of the year, but I was very much feeling as though around March it felt more the new year than just merely moving into the new year as per se. And a lot of us can become quite uneasy, again falling back in the egoic state, really wanting to know what's happening so that we can spiritually move forward in some shape or form. There's no right or wrong way of going about it. So, you know, if you're guided to and you feel spiritually you need to deal with some 3D aspects, be that moving home, be that dealing with the aspect of your finances, and it's really coming through in your read, that part of the karmic lesson at a portion is you moving through your blocks spiritually with your abilities to manifest a cash component. So this can go on your side or their side, because the energies will always bounce back and forward. So again, you know, with whatever's coming through in the read, it can swap. And you can purge that very quickly. There is the level when we are coming to a higher vibration, some of these reads won't directly connect in with you because you've actually purged that cycle, you've dealt with that direct block. There definitely is an aspect where strength is required in order to move through this. And I do feel an energy of a past tense partner's frequency having had affected you, very separate to twin. Part of other people's energies around you also may be mirroring how twin was, but at a higher frequency, probably at a not so flash frequency, so to speak. That's a very common thing through the twin flame journey, where you tend to move away from twin, and then at a 3D level, other people around you really do mirror what you directly were to your twin at a point in time, to help really cement in and anchor in that lesson of what's needing to be understood, and then what's needing to directly be removed out of your life that no longer serves you. During the Venus retrograde, a lot of that energy after the fact with Mercury retrograde was really like a double Venus retrograde, with really having the intuitive knowing of what we wanted, and maybe then looking at our value system of where we might have initially in our energetic state placed our twin up here and ourselves down here, and then it's done the polar opposite where we've actually pulled it the other way. But what we're needing to do now is really balance it, and I feel between now and March that's really coming through, where it's going to become balanced. Be very cautious in the first few weeks, especially as I'm sensing finances being extremely important. Moving into January, we're moving into the frequency of earth-based frequency, but at the same time, this is a time where it's connected to contracts, birth, death, rebirth, and debt. So be very careful at that level, especially with your journey starting with you. So, you know, tying up loose ends, getting everything sorted to a point where you can be prepared for your twin. And I will join the cards, you know, as I do go through, so you can understand how twin directly is looking at you. There can be people around you that are manipulating you. There also can be people offering you the world but really coming short. It may be that you're looking at other options, especially if you haven't heard from your counterpart and you're considering that as an option. But as your value system raises in frequency, I do feel you might even be looking at those offers and thinking, gosh, this is well below perhaps what I believe my true net worth is internally and spiritually. And it can also be where, especially when we have financial blocks, a lot of times it's because we spiritually feel inside of ourselves a lack, and that lack can be you believing that you can't manifest that cash, or the worthiness internally isn't there. So that panicked frequency of trying to really regain the finances and draw them back in can become problematic. There is an aspect coming through. Now, this can be any senses of contracts that you're holding at a spiritual level with your twin. And very interesting, I'm going to leave the last two cards because they're really tying in with each other. Thinking back in your journey, you may be looking at it where the way twin was looking at you was due to family-related dynamics. Now, very interestingly enough, you may not be seeing it that way. Although you may be experiencing an aspect of their part of the journey on your side of the fence this time. Now, and again, vice versa, your energy is coming through semi-blocked. There's a trigger point, especially when you're tuning into what happened with your twin, how it all went pear-shaped, what went down, what went wrong, what the blocks were. You may feel in the lack frequency at a very minute level that you had to earn too much of this person's attention. They almost had their guard up completely due to the fact that people past tense had directly betrayed them. So the block isn't directly each other, it's past tense frequencies being carried over and mirrored towards each other. Even though at an energetic level, you felt you had to be responsible. What you've actually been seeking is a balance inside your frequency, where the give and take is there. But energetically, something in your mind has cemented and anchored in that things will take time, that you will always have to pick up the slack for other people. That energetic frequency needs to be purged, especially when you've had a lot of people let you down. It can really be something that anchors quite heavily in. Twin at the same time very much had a frequency where they were having to start over all the time. So although you were being responsible like you were building Noah's Ark, they very much were living on a holding on to things because they had to keep restarting. Both of you really do have a very positive energy in a sense of what you can manifest and what you can create. And definitely in the Taurus frequency, it's a very positive energy to be able to manifest cash components. But at a base chakra level, it might have been something happened in your family that energetically has taken a toll on you spiritually, and you're healing from that. Energetically for them, it has been always something that built up. It's been taken from them. So it's like they've been chasing their tail. For you personally, in your energy, you may have felt in the past that you always had to intuitively know how to think, how to deal. And again, I'm still feeling that both of you are really tuning into past tense situations and understanding the reasons why you are the people you are. Twin is feeling as though there's give and take in relationships. Their desire is to have this give and take with you. Your desire is to know beyond just your intuitive side. You feel you're having more a 5D connection at the moment than a 3D. But Twin, however, is very much wanting a 3D connection. You're trying to be strong while this is tying up. And I do feel if they are in a karmic relationship or a partnership. Now, when I say karmic can be any energy that directly is blocking them from their higher spiritual path. However, it's not negative. Any karmic energy that is in one's life, and it's on both sides, is there to break you and make you. So what is going on with your counterpart is they are going through a separation state from a karmic energy. This can be a physical person, it can be a job, it can be a mindset. They're directly separating themselves from that direct frequency. You're learning to not be manipulated, and this is very healthy, because in the past it may have been you needing to be responsible all the time and you having to use your intuition, which at times can then go into the frequency of where people manipulated you. Now, knowing that your total worth is here means that energetic field will no longer need to be thinking on your feet, because when you take your guard down and you know you have all the tools that you need spiritually, that can't happen anymore. So it's about purging that frequency if there has been aspects of betrayal from other people, and knowing that if you anchor that into yourself, even with twin, it's almost like your receptors will be on to a point where you would know if they were coming correct or not. Definitely with other people, if they're exhibiting this energy towards you, be very mindful, because it's a test prior to reunion. Twin also, through this energy, knowing what has gone on, is the reason they've delayed is because they know once they walk through this door, there's absolutely no turning back. So it's not a negative thing, it's a positive thing. Especially if in the past there was ins and outs with aspects of communication, they're physically and spiritually choosing not to do it in that way out of respect. Okay, so it's not, it can look cold-hearted, but they know the truth. Energetically, they need to be aligned in order to take a leap of faith. And even if there was lower frequency dynamics going on past tense, in the here and now, which is where we always need to be, very much the energy is they're understanding intuitively that if they do actually walk through that door, they need to be ready. And especially from their karmic card, what's coming through in this is really healing and understanding where those wounds come from. So they're being very adult when they're looking at it and wanting to really do this correctly, where they're walking through that door coming correct. Now, the reason I did delay showing the last two cards is because both of you have almost like a duality here. Now, this is about partnerships. This is about them physically offering their love. Both of you are in complete alignment by the second week. That isn't to say they're knocking on your door right away. Alignment means being in that frequency where you can get grounded and you're anchoring your energy in. Now, my strongest advice for you is to eat the red food groups. Again, especially with your twins' energy of what's going on with them. Both of you, physically speaking, it's the same thing. Okay? You may be assisting them transmuting that frequency, because both entail relationships. One is at a family level, one may be at a physical level, especially if they're leaving a karmic energy. Now, they are trying to do this correctly. There may be family involved. You, however, may be questioning whether they can even do that. Balance your frequency, okay? Don't let the egoic state of the past block what's coming. Do both chakras, okay? So deal with any aspects of your feelings towards intimacy, connections, receiving, and definitely at a family level, if you're seeing anything on a 3D level asking you to tidy up, clean up, prepare, follow your intuition with it, because it is asking you to prepare. Try not to get blocked when these things come up in the readings and they don't come knocking at your door the next day. You've got to remember, in any given connection, a breakup, be it with you or another person, there is a time frame for healing. Even if at a 3D level, you know, a masculine or a feminine appears not to be healing or has healed and moved on, the healing can take years, and especially very differently in a twin flame connection. The energy between you, I'm hearing pride. Again, I did say the energy of purging the aspect of the ego, purging the dynamic of the belief of how things are going to come. Try and release that frequency. There can be people around you that are really being quite vengeful and nasty towards you. Again, especially with manipulation coming from your side with family. This can also be the reasons why both of you are reacting in your current direct 3D situation in a very delicate manner. It can be triggered, it can be exhausting you at the moment, because definitely some aspect on both sides, your frequency may start raising. You might be real cautious about your appearance, worried that you can't be accepted. This can even be at very slight levels. You can be trying to really tidy and neaten up how you look and how you feel, changing your diet. But at the same time, anything you feel guided to do, obviously follow your intuition with. It can also be other people being very shallow in their energies around you, which is making it almost repulsive for you to be in their energetic field, very separately to twin. And again, looking back in the past, both of you have a commonality there where the energy may have been exhibited towards each other, but at the same time, other people would have done this to you, which was quite vengeful frequency. So you're being very careful in your own 3D lives how to deal with any conflict with other people. Now, when it does come to your finances, both of you need to let that aspect go. Trust that anything you need, universe will give. Try and release that fair-based frequency regardless of your current 3D situations. Try and keep as grounded as possible. It is going to be tied up. It is going to be sorted. And I will be doing an update mid-month. I do feel they're really moving through their frequency. The key for you right now is to very much in your base chakra get balanced. And any trigger points that are coming up, get a journal and write them down and try and work directly from them. They may be, try and deal with the energy at a very friendly level. I am seeing that an older person and a friend can be key to assisting you with these blocks at an energetic level financially. I do feel if you have any issues with your finances, it's friendships and family that are going to directly help you. I'll see you during the month. And if you need a booking, the link is below.